Hi everybody, and welcome in on a Wednesday to the midweek edition of the news. The Campbell County Board of Education had a brief meeting last night. The Campbell County High Junior is still in critical condition this evening, and the La Follette Church of God's 95-year celebration was a huge success. We have these stories and more coming up on your news at 5:30. A brief Campbell County Board of Education meeting last night was dominated mainly by testimonials from fellow board members to David Lynch, who was attending his last meeting after losing a re-election bid on August 2nd. Lynch humbly praised the board's accomplishments of the past 4 years and then generously introduced Danny Wilson, the incoming board representative, who defeated Lynch for his 1st district seat. Much of the remainder of the evening was taken up outside the public gaze in an executive session with board attorney Dale Cantrell, with no explanation offered about the subject of the attorney-client meeting. The board also agreed on criteria for evaluating the performance of Director Donnie Poston and set August 23rd at 5 p.m. as a date for the board to meet and discuss their evaluation of Poston. Faye Comer presented a report on the status of the various activities funds at individual schools. All schools except Jellicoe High School have completed reports for the previous fiscal year, and Comer reported that schools have a healthy balance to begin the current year, totaling close to $500,000. She added that one troubling exception is a shortfall in the commissions from soft drink and juice vending machines, which total $9,323 less than the previous year. Part of that can be accounted for by the loss of 3 months of revenue at Campbell County High School, where vending machines were disconnected for that period. Rector Miller also noted that in changing vendors last year, several schools had a delay in replacing vending machines by the new vendor. La Follette Middle School, for example, took in $1,800 from vending machines in September of 2010, but zero in September of 2011 as the new vendor was changing machines, Miller pointed out. More county schools may be eligible this year for the backpack lunch program, the board learned. Wynn and White Oak are already participating in the program, where eligible children are given a healthy carry-out meal to take home on Fridays. This program, supported by Second Harvest Food Bank, may be expanded to include more schools in the current year. Some children, the board was told, receive their last hot meal on Friday and don't have another until returning to school on Monday. Director Poston reported briefly on the state evaluation results. No Campbell County schools are on the state's priority list, which includes seriously underachieving schools. We have some gap closure to deal with, Poston added, referring to wide gaps in test scores between low-income or minority students and the average student body. Before adjournment, Sarge Collins again broached the subject of completing work on the Jellicoe Elementary football field. We've scraped up a couple of sets of bleachers from the old Caravel School, but steps don't go all the way up for access, and there are no restrooms at the top. We've got a cow pasture, not a football field, with no facilities, Collins explained. Every school in the county has facilities, but at Jellicoe, nothing, he complained. School board members from Anderson and Scott counties also quietly attended the meeting as part of the Tennessee School Board Association's evaluation program. This evening's status of a Campbell Hyde Jr. is critical. That's the latest word from the Trauma Surgical Intensive Care Unit at the University of Tennessee Medical Center in Knoxville. Monday night, not long after sundown, 16-year-old Trinity Henniger of the Demery community suffered head injuries when he fell from a moving John Deere Gator. Henniger was airlifted to UT Medical Center, where he underwent surgery midday on Tuesday. He and a classmate were riding in the Dokes Creek area near the Campbell-Claiborne County line when Henniger was injured. Jim Henniger took the time to stop by the old radio station this morning despite his son, Trinity Henniger, being in critical condition at the UT Medical Center with head injuries. The elder Henniger shared some encouraging news. He told us that Trinity's numbers are improving, and that is a good sign. He went on to say that he has never asked the community for anything, but now he is asking you to pray for Trinity and to follow along with Trinity's progress on Facebook. Just look for Prayers for Trinity Henniger. That's Prayers for Trinity Henniger on Facebook for updates on Trinity's condition and messages from his family. The La Follette Church of God's 95 years homecoming celebration this past Sunday was attended by between 400 and 500 people who say the new church pastor, Sonny Wilkes. Pastor Wilkes tells WLAF that the congregation had a wonderful worship service as well as a great meal and fellowship. State Representative Dennis Powers, as well as County Mayor William Baird, was in attendance for the celebration. And tomorrow night is the Jellicoe Highway Church of God's free meal in a box night. You can pick up a box between 6 and 7. There are a limited quantity, so this free meal box is on a first come, first served basis. And that's our news for this Wednesday. Next is the Campbell County Sheriff's Department report, and we'll be right back with it. And we have 14 people that have been booked into the Campbell County Jail in the past 24 hours. Joseph Granville Day, age 23, of School Street in Jacksboro, for cruelty to animals and public intoxication. 27-year-old Kenneth Scott Hatmaker of South Highway 25W, La Follette, for violation of probation. Jamie Hembry, 37, of Cowan Lane in La Follette, for driving while revoked or suspended. Third offense, driving left of the center line, possession of a Schedule 6 controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and violation of the Tennessee financial law, and presenting invalid driver's license. Brian Keith Ivy, 38, of Glade Springs Road, La Follette, for theft of property under $500. 41-year-old Charles Cecil King of South Main Street in Jellicoe, for public intoxication. Natasha Dawn Lane, 27, of Luther Sieber Boulevard in Caryville, for possession of drug paraphernalia and on a capias. 37-year-old Kimberly Ann Lay of South Main Street in Jellicoe, for domestic violence by assault. Harley Benjamin Martin, age 40, of Gladefield Drive, La Follette, for aggravated criminal trespassing, assault, and vandalism over $1,000. 39-year-old Benjamin Eric Moffitt of Huntsville, for violation of probation in Scott County. Jessica Lynn Morgan, 23, of Brook Place Lane in La Follette, for possession of drug paraphernalia. 32-year-old Megan N. Reed of Oak Road in Norris, for theft of property under $500 and possession of a Schedule 3 controlled substance, possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. 25-year-old Michael C. Savage of Del Rio Lane, La Follette, was picked up and held for another agency. And last today, Mark Hazen Wells, age 42, of Hope Wells Lane and Speedwell on a capious bench warrant and an attachment for child support. And that's a look at our portion of the news. Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening and join us again tomorrow. Everybody, it's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in Oswell.
1 o'clock in downtown Raleigh, on the city limits.
All is well.